This is the plaintiff, Angela Ransom. She says the defendant is her cousin, and he made false allegations against her on Facebook. And now she's lost business due to his lies. Family or no family, she's not going to let him get away with ruining her good name, and is suing for $500. This is the defendant, Paul. He says all he did was comment on one of the plaintiff's former workers who complained she wasn't paid. He said he wasn't paid either, and he doesn't think that's against the law. He's accused of being nasty.
All parties, please raise your right hands. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Ms. Ransom, talk to me. What happened here? The defendant is your what, younger cousin?
Yes, Your Honor.
And at some point he decides to move from Maine to Florida. And according to you, you help him out. How do you help him out?
Well, he didn't have a job. And so I don't know how he thought he was going to pay rent, but my husband and I had bought a house for my mother. So I thought that Mr. Paul and I could help each other. So I told him, listen, I'm very overwhelmed. I have a business to run. I have a family. I look after my mother. And here's somebody in our family, you know, a man who can help us, and we can help you. So why don't you stay at the house of my mom? All I expect is, you know, pay the power bill and pay for some food and, you know, help me look after my mother. And then until you get on your feet and you can get your own place.
So the place where he was living with your mother, was he paying rent there or he wasn't paying rent?
No, I didn't charge him any rent. I just told him pay the power bill and pay for some food. He also told me he was really good in sales and he was the top salesperson where he worked and everything. So I let him come work at my insurance agency. And when he first came in, he was all gung-ho, but he wanted to head up the team meetings and be the boss to the other employees who had insurance licenses and stuff. And I was like, no, you can't come in here and just take over the company. You're entry level. And then his attitude became kind of negative, and he wanted to go outside and smoke cigarettes all the time. He didn't do his work. He kept losing applications. He didn't want to find them. So then one day he just stopped coming to work. I used to have a branch office before COVID. I used to have a satellite office. So it was a Friday, and I had a newer employee. Her name was Lynn. And on that Friday, I had to go work in our satellite office. So Lynn and Mr. Paul were alone in my headquarter office. And the following Monday, he didn't come back. So Lynn told me that Mr. Paul had spent the whole entire day berating me, putting me down, talking negative about me.
I mean, can I ask you a question, Ms. Ransom? Had there been a problem between the two of you that it was pretty obvious that, you know, things weren't going well?
Well, of course, yeah.
Before?
When I try to delegate, yes, of course, yeah. When I try to delegate things to him, he would become attitudey, he would become angry, and he would, like, become belligerent with me in front of other employees. It caused other employees to lose respect for me. So,
why didn't you fire him?
And I was worried about him living with my mother and trying to become a leach of her. And as a matter of fact,
you see how all these are really bad ideas to set yourself up in such a position of dependency? I mean, I guess I can understand the attractiveness to having a family member with an aging mother. You know, I can kind of get that there's help involved and all that, but it could be really, really great, or it could just be, now what do I do? Because you not only employed him, you had, All right, so let's find out. You say he owed you money. What money did he owe you?
Well, he made a charge on my American Express card off of his Amazon account.
How did he have your American
Express
card?
Because I gave it to him to pay for office supplies when he was working in my office. So
did he ever tell you, yes, I did, I made a mistake? Or
yeah, he did. He did. You know what? He did.
So he owed you that, and what else did he owe you?
I had bought a part for his car, and he said he was going to pay me back for that. He also, his dog had caused damage to my mother's couch, which was my father's couch, which was a 60-year-old family heirloom.
So according to you, because he owed you for the Amazon thing, owed you for a loan you'd made him, and owed you for damages to the cushion, his last paycheck, you withheld some money out of it, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you send him the paycheck, and now he's no longer your employee. Do you talk to him, and do you come to peaceful terms with him, or you guys just aren't talking to each other and he's living with your mother?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. The purpose of this law, or the reason why this lawsuit comes up, actually happens a little bit later. You end up with a problem with Lynn, where Lynn is trashing you. What's the problem that happens with Lynn?
So I had COVID and I was working at home. On the day that I was processing payroll, Lynn kept telling the receptionist to send all the calls to my house. So I didn't get payroll done until Thursday morning at 8, and I usually get it done on Wednesday. So I told Lynn...
Okay, we're talking about what month and what year? That's obviously 2020 because it's COVID, but what month?
September, Your Honor.
Oh, so this is almost a year later after he's no longer working for you and whatever else. Okay, so go on.
So Lynn, and she is also having a lawsuit. She gets on Facebook at 6:45 a.m. on the 18th of September and announces in a public forum a very ugly post with profanity and slander, telling everybody in the world in her forum, and I know I have clients in that forum, that she comes to effing work on time and she expects to GD get effing paid on time. Her paycheck wasn't even due yet when she posted that. Okay, then Mr. Paul pipes in and says, oh, I know, I used to work for her too, and she never paid me on time. It's effing illegal.
So you're suing Mr. Paul for your cousin for $500 because what? Because he said that on Lynn's Facebook account?
First of all, come to find out, he's been talking to my employee since he left and infiltrating her and speaking ill of me, my business. Okay, if he didn't want to be here and he left, that's fine. Go on. But don't come back here and try to damage my business that I've been building for 12 and a half years. He told my employee I was a drunk. He went on Facebook and posted that I was a C-word. Lynn.
Wait, which employee? Lynn. I thought you're suing Lynn. So Lynn's not going to be testifying for you today that happened, right? That's just hearsay. Do you have an affidavit from Lynn? You're not on good terms with Lynn. She's not your employee anymore.
No, I fired her after the Facebook post. And then after she left her Facebook open on my computer in my office where she was supposed to be doing work. So I found all of the chats between her and Mr. Paul where he's been talking to her, telling her I'm a C word. He posted it on his own Facebook that I'm a C word. He told her all kinds of ugly things. He's been infiltrating her.
Where did you stop a second? Explain something to me, Ms. Ransom. Other than you seeing it on a computer in your office and then reading it, which is kind of a violation of someone's privacy, but yeah, they left it open in your office. It's your office computer.
They left it open in my office. Yeah, she shouldn't have even been on Facebook. I'm not
saying I wouldn't have done it. I'm just saying that maybe you weren't supposed to read it. But who else was reading it? Did you ever see it on his Facebook feed, bad stuff about you? Or did you only see him answering her comment?
I saw him answering her comment on a live in this forum where my other employees and clients
And then you saw a private message where he talked to her and called you a C word.
Yes, Your Honor. But what he had said was not that I was a C word. He had said that he had posted that I was a C word. She told him he should take that post down since he's getting sued now because and he said he will take it down.
Did you ever see the post?
I didn't see that one.
And how do you come up with the figure, other than you feel that your younger cousin is ungrateful? How is it that you're out $500 by virtue? Because, you know, there's lots of other people who are a busy businesswoman who have been working for 12 years to build it and have a family and a mother to take care of. They might not bother with this. They might think, idiot, and move on. But you're claiming to be damaged to the tune of $500. How do you pick the figure $500?
You know, of course, it's hard to pinpoint such a thing because I'm in a community of people that I've been building. It took me 12 and a half years to make a good reputation. So there's at least one client that I know of who has stopped paying their premium, who was in that forum, friends on Facebook with Lynn, that saw it. And so
but they could stop paying their premium for a million reasons. Do you have any proof that they stopped paying their premium? They might have stopped paying their premium because they have no money because they've lost their job thanks to COVID. You can't. So you see what I'm saying?
No, they're not going to come to
actual damages. Let me talk to you, Mr. Paul. What exactly is going on here?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of disappointing. It's petty. And I'll be honest with you, I never stopped coming to work, I called her up and told her that I was not going to be coming to work anymore.
Why were you not going to come
Because I couldn't
to work anymore?
I honestly couldn't stand working for her. She was a tyrant to work for. It was difficult, and
Why? Calling her a tyrant is a conclusion. Give me an example so that I can come to the same conclusion.
She would pile things on my desk. If I didn't get them done in time, she would get mad and ask me what I had done wrong. And there was so much piled up in front of me, it was hard to keep track of it all. So she decided she was going to keep me after work for a few hours to make it happen. I had responsibilities that I had to tend to after work, so I'd usually tell her, no, I'll do it in the morning. And then I would go home, and I made sure that I took care of the house. I did a lot of renovations to the house. I took care of the pool. I took care of the outside of the house to the point where her husband would come over and would be able to spend time with his family, with her at the pool. And he would tell her, Angela, Paul did all this. I can just spend time with you because there's nothing to be done because he got it done. And the Amazon card charge in question, I was trying to make Lynn's computer split screen. So I was trying to order something online to make that happen.
So here's the thing. This is your cousin. Did you have a relationship with her before this? Like, were you guys friendly before this happened? Obviously, you must have been.
Yeah, when I was a little boy, she spent a lot of time with me, and I was very fond of Angela, which is why this is so disappointing.
So tell me about the posts and stuff.
I never posted anything on Facebook at all regarding this case or anything before it, or that Angela and I were having an issue.
So the only thing you did then was answer Lynn on her conversation with you.
Yes.
She used to withhold my check too. Always an excuse. It's effing illegal. Is that the one sentence, Ms. Ransom? She used to withhold my check too?
That's it.
Yes,
All right.
Your Honor.
Now you have a witness, Mr. Paul. Who's your witness?
It's Lynn, actually.
Oh, is it? Oh, this ought to be good.
It is
okay.
indeed.
Well then, let's swear Lynn in.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Lynn, are you getting sued also by Ms. Ransom?
Unfortunately, yes.
And what are you being sued for? The same Facebook post, slander, whatever? The same thing?
Yes, same dollar amount and everything.
So explain to me where your original comment was made. On your own Facebook account, on a private feed, on a what is it? Is this the one where everybody sees it, where you put the post?
Yes.
So my question to you is, were you ready to quit by that point? Because that's pretty much going to get you fired. Or were you just so angry you weren't thinking?
I really didn't care. I was just mad that I didn't get paid.
Okay, so was that the first time you hadn't been paid?
I was not paid on time twice.
Okay. Ms. Ransom, do you have anything you'd like to say in response to the testimony that I just heard?
Well, first of all, Lynn made her initial post at 6:45 in the morning. Her paycheck wasn't even due yet. How did she know she wasn't going to get paid on time? Secondly, every paycheck that she ever got here cleared before payday, except for that one and her very first two paychecks, which cleared on payday.
No.
And I have every single pay stub and when it cleared my account.
See, there's two things going on. One is, are these things truthful? And the other is, are saying them and not being truthful actionable? You are literally angry because you read the posts on a Facebook account between two people. Most of what you're angry about was on the private area. Ms. Ransom, you know, these slander cases are very, very tough to prove. You know, I'm looking for how you can decide that you want $500 because someone said something negative about you that, you know, perhaps maybe you should have a thicker skin about. I realize that he's your little cousin and you felt you helped him out and then you felt like he turned on you or whatever and that he should be more grateful that you were trying to give him a start. He feels like it was hell on earth while he lived here. Either way, that's, you know, your own personal business. But really, $500 where you can't prove to me that anything negative happened. If anything, the one thing you can prove is that the person who read it was appalled and called you right away to tell you about it. Not they thought ill of you, they thought ill of Lynn. So as far as this case, the only case I have in front of me is the case with Mr. Paul is concerned. My verdict in this case is for the defendant. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff fails to get $500 from her former employee and her relative. Ms. Ransom, you're the plaintiff. What do you think?
You know, these cases are hard to prove. I don't have anything that shows $500. I probably lost more than $500 if you add up all the people who may have bought insurance from me and won't now because my reputation has been tarnished.
Well, it's very understandable. All right. Well, I'm sorry you lost, but that's the judge's decision. Mr. Paul, what do you think about the outcome?
I mean, the whole thing was pretty much disappointing, and this whole case is petty. I did everything that was asked of me. Her and I just didn't end up getting along at the end of the day, and I'm glad it's over.
All right. Well, that'll bring this case to a close. It's all over, and the plaintiff failed to prove her point.
There's something more powerful when you see something bad written about you on a computer screen that's out there than just so-and-so is bad-mouthing you.
Isn't it something?
You wouldn't go to court if you just heard, hey, so-and-so bad-mouthed you.
No.
You'd be like,
but, as we tell our children all the time, say it, forget it, write it, regret it.
Right.
And there's so many great things about social media.
Right.
So many.
Right.
It keeps us incredibly connected to our children who are out of town. Then there's all this other bad stuff that happens. Like there's a whole trail of evidence that follows you around forever.
Yes.
You lose the empathy of speaking to somebody face to face.
Looking them in the eye.
Right. You say cooler
evaluating
things.
their feelings
right.
with the things you're saying.
If I might not say to you, you're a jerk to your face because then I see the hurt in your eyes, but I'll say you're a jerk. It's easy to type it. It's so much easier to type it. So you lose the empathy, and what ends up happening is people could just end up being really mean. And I just think it hurts more. So that it's a whole brave new world where people have to navigate getting some thicker skin under these circumstances.
Okay, Rick wants to know this. Hey, Harvey. If you're in a car accident where you think the car is fixable, but your insurance company wants to total it, do you have to accept their decision? The answer is no. The insurance company can't force you to do what you want to do with the car, but they do have a right to decide the terms of payout under the insurance policy. So you should work with the insurance company, and you should also know that a lot of times what insurance companies offer the first time around may not be what they offer if you put the screws to them. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case inside the courtroom.